Hello everybody, Senior Engineer, MBA, and Investor. And in today's video, I just wanted to maybe take a few minutes of the day here on a Monday, on a beautiful Monday. I think as we enter the month of October, there are lots of things that are going on here in this market. And I wanted to sort of, speak freely here for a few minutes if I could. But before I do that, I do want to acknowledge that the Premier of Quebec has been re-elected. And I believe in Brazil, the existing president has also been re-elected, or at least in the process of being re-elected after the first round. So just wanted to acknowledge that. I just think it's interesting that after a pandemic, like two of the worst states, I would say, out of the pandemic, two of the top three worst states, Quebec being one of the three for sure. It's just interesting that, the people that were leading those 2 years, basically, almost 2 years, 1 year and a half at least, were reelected. It's almost as if, people completely forgot that the pandemic, there was, your performance and the way you perform during the worst crises of humanity, at least in the last 100 years, do matter, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. Again, we're not a political channel, so I definitely didn't want to spend too much time on that. Just wanted to acknowledge those facts there before I jump into today's video. So I do want to briefly talk about what I'm seeing right now with CRISPR landscape. Of course, we are talking about a couple of companies there that have already dosed patients, right? Companies like Verve Therapeutics, Graphite Bio, they've dosed patients. Caribou Biosciences, they've all dosed patients. At this point, really, it's no longer really about going forward with phase one, phase two, but also actually, submitting FDA submissions like we saw with CRISPR Therapeutics and Vertex last week. Now, I do want to mention, I saw something recently and it was one of the analysts, and I'm not going to start going over the article. You guys already know what's my opinion on legacy media. Someone said, one of the analysts said something like, the FDA will most likely require more data from CTX001. First of all, on that statement, where is this statement coming from? What is it based on? Has the FDA actually mentioned this? Is this something that the FDA actually does? What is the premise there backing up the claim that, after phase one, phase two, and phase three, after over 90 patients dosed CRISPR-Cas9 between Vertex and CRISPR Therapeutics throughout their sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia programs, why would you think that they need more data, right? For all 90 patients, there's literally all 90 patients have been potentially cured, or at least those who went through the full program there with the data that they have on hand. And by then, by the early 2023, we'll even have more data. So I think it's so premature to be stating that, you need more data. What I think will end up happening is I think it'll play out. One of the good questions was like, how long would the FDA approve this? I've seen figures from months to months. I've seen 4 to 8 months going around. I probably think it's going to take in the higher range of 6 to 8 to even 12 months. I wouldn't be surprised 12 months. I honestly would not be surprised if this takes 8 to 12 months. Although I'll be a little bit disappointed. But I think it is a possibility. And the reason why is because you don't have any CRISPR-based therapy out there. It's not a FDA-approved therapy in terms of technology. It's never been approved. Obviously, there's a lot of hype on it. There's a lot of VCs and investors, retail investors are really strong, rallying behind this technology, including myself. I have a whole YouTube channel that covers CRISPR here and there. But ultimately, the truth of the matter is there is no FDA-approved drug. Therefore, this will take time. The way that FDA treated Beam 201, a revolutionary technology on their multiplexing or whatever the reason was, in my opinion, I think the FDA will be very, very diligent on CRISPR Therapeutics and Vertex program. The only great thing that we have going, in my opinion, and I covered that in the last video, I believe, over the weekend, is that you have the backing of a company like Vertex. Vertex has a proven company with proven technologies, with FDA-approved drugs that they were commercializing for years and years. So there is that premise there to sort of back this program up by saying that there's experience, there's leadership, and there's, of course, a commercial side of the business there viable throughout this therapy, right? It's one thing to say you have a great technology on patients, and it's another thing to say you have experience to market this. And it's exactly why Vertex as 60% of this program, right? It's exactly why Vertex partnered with other companies in the CRISPR landscape, like Metagenome, one of those private companies. So there's a lot going on in this space right now. Prime Medicine filing for IPO. I mean, we have Mammoth Biosciences sitting in those private markets, like a wolf, looking at these private markets during the recession, waiting for the perfect moment to come out. And then you have all these companies trying to dose patients go forward with their programs, including Beam Therapeutics, right? So there's a lot of things going on here in this space. There's a lot of excitement. And I truly, truly believe there's an opportunity here for investors, for us retail investors to capitalize on this, right? When things are tough, when we are in a recession, this is the time to invest. This is the time to research. This is the time to look at your portfolio and see how you can improve it, diversify it, and look at different mediums, right? It's not the time to sell out, to freak out and go hide, right? I understand. I can see it in the viewership of this channel. Lots of people went away. People stopped watching videos like these. Why? Because their portfolio is down, because their stock got hammered, and they're trying to stay away from it. And honestly, if that alone is making you not sell your stocks, I would advise you to keep doing that. But ultimately, if you want to become a learner of these markets, if you want to look at a long-term investing, you always want to learn, and a lot of you guys are always willing to learn. Look at our channel, look at our videos, and educate yourself. Ultimately, it's free information, right? Why not? So ultimately, if you want to do that, you have to do what you're doing here. You have to keep learning. You have to keep progressing. You have to keep looking at these technologies, these newer things coming up, research papers. I'll be honest with you, I've sort of slacked in the last few weeks. Really got busy over the end of the summer there, mid and on the summer with vacations and a bunch of work. And even this month of September was crazy busy for me. So I haven't had really the chance to sit down and study what's going on in the technology side of things. So research papers, looking at Dr. Liu lab, looking at Jennifer Doudna's lab, what are they doing? Because you want to stay on top of those things, right? Is it a necessity? No. As a retail investor, it is not. But if you have the time, and if you're in this recession and you're like me and you don't necessarily want to binge on Netflix shows or on HBO or whatever streaming service you go through, Disney Plus, you want to keep learning, this is the perfect opportunity, right? And I truly believe that here is the time. This is the time to invest. This is the time to get excited here. This is the time to look at your portfolio and see what you can increase your portfolio positions on, whether that's one of these CRISPR companies or could be outside of it, right? Tesla is down here. I think it's year's lows here. And although they broke production numbers, they disappointed delivery numbers and whatever that means. And these are opportunities, guys. These are opportunities. You want to look for them. I know it's hard. I know it's a very tough time. We're coming out of this pandemic. We're coming in this recession. Things are tough. I truly understand it. Inflation here and there. I truly understand it. But this is the time, guys. This is the time. It was a time in 2008, 2009, 2010. It is a time in 2022, 2023, and so on. We'll see how we go. I'll end this video like this. Hopefully you guys are having a beautiful Monday. Thank you so much for watching. Do like this video if you haven't, subscribe if you're not, and hopefully let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the CRISPR landscape right now. Thank you so much for watching.